What's up, everybody? James Duggan here with IGN to show you Maelstrom, the weirdest Battle Royale game that I've ever played, if you can even call it a Battle Royale, and I would argue that you can, because as we can see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's this giant map, albeit mostly water, and there are 16 players there in the upper left, and this is a last man standing, or should I say last ship sailing scenario. And aside from the fact that I have a ship with a castle on it, and I'm fighting orc and dwarven ships controlled by other players, there are a lot of other unique things that Maelstrom does to subvert or kind of iterate on the Battle Royale genre that I'm quite a fan of. Things like out-of-game progression, things like power pickups, things like creeps. The ship that I'm fighting right here, the Windcatcher Skiff, is an NPC-controlled ship. And I'm able to sink it and then take its power-up. In this case, it was speed. The Goblin Raider, also an NPC-controlled ship, and it's all a little bit obtuse when you start playing, but within 2 or 3 matches I was able to pick up on what was an enemy player, what was an NPC-controlled ship, the different factions, the different archetypes, things like that. I'm fighting 2 enemy player ships here, actually 3, and this is not a 3v1 scenario, this is a 1v1v1v1 scenario, so I'm able to do things like shoot and then just get the heck out of here. I'm actually going to go into this slipstream, but this orc ship, with sharks pulling it, super metal, is going to try and drag me. Thankfully, I'm already in the slipstream, so I have a lot of movement speed bonus going forward. My ship is glowing. That's a passive on this particular ship. The ship is called the, I want to say Ashbringer, even though that's the name of the World of Warcraft sword, and I feel like that's probably copyright, so it probably isn't the Ashbringer. It's something. Ashbearer, maybe? Anyway, it's kind of a glass cannon human ship, and the broadsides are really powerful. It has no forward-facing or aft-facing cannons. These are the kinds of choices that you can make in this game, even before you get into the match. So some people will not like that there's kind of a World of Tanks-esque progression happening outside of the match, and then you're going in with things like different side grades, different vertical upgrades, different ships. But for those of you who really like diving into that nitty-gritty and like the grind and like something to work towards that doesn't just get reset every single match, Maelstrom is experimenting with that in the Battle Royale space. And so far, I have to say, I really am enjoying it. I think that the combat is super fun. I'm able to read, for the most part, what enemy ships are capable of doing. There are some things like the Captain, which confers a special ability that you just have to get into a fight to figure out what Captain they're using. I imagine eventually there will be a meta. There will be a certain popular type of ship or types of ships, and you'll be able to counter that if you want. But I'm really enjoying the kind of mix of this naval combat with these light MOBA motifs and then set in a Battle Royale genre. It's a really weird mashup, and I'm super into it. Now this player, this orc ship, who is just sailing in a circle, missed all of those pickups. He clearly had a very epic battle as he has no armor, and I'm able to just broadside him straight down. Armor is represented by that white circular telegraph on the outside of ships. So when you see an enemy ship, there's a ship fighting from the fog, which is kind of like a bush in League of Legends. You can see he's got armor on all sides, and I'll have to break through that armor if I want to damage his hull and eventually destroy him. There are also different ammo types. There's chain shot to destroy sails. Fun fact, dwarven ships have no sails. They run on steam or coal or something. Then there is a kind of shot volley that is able to destroy crews, though I haven't seen that be a particularly viable strategy. It's mainly just hull damage. Here is a very light enemy player ship. This is also another human ship, and there is my Captain's special ability, which knocks him away. I've destroyed all of the armor on his port side there, and he is very strategically only showing me his starboard. This is something that a skilled player will do and an unskilled player will not do. This guy is very good, although at this point I have a lot of pickups, and that's not something that he can necessarily discern visually. I'm going to interrupt my little rant about that and readability to say that there is this black water emerging. This is kind of the equivalent to the gas or the zone or the radiation in other Battle Royale games, and we have to get the heck out of here, so much so that I'm just going to leave that armor because there are giant sharks and giant sea monsters, as we can see a huge fin there when the zone closes in, so I want to make sure I don't die. There's also just a static spawn monster on some maps that I can't tell. It's like a kraken. I can't tell if you can kill it or not. Here's a Goblin Raider. This is just another NPC ship. And kind of going back to my power-ups, if you're wondering where I can see how much I've gotten, it's above that blue bar that says 400. That's my sail HP. Below that is my crew HP. And then above that, in white, is my ship and armor. And right below that is, you can see the shield, the anchor, and the cannon icons, and that means I've gotten a certain number of those, and I'm pretty fed at this point. These are just some NPC ships. I don't really care about these too much. I'm pretty fed at this point, and I've statistically progressed past the place where people without as much kind of gear or pickups as I have can beat me with skill, as we are about to see. Here's an enemy player, Beckett. He's on kind of a tanky ship. I missed that whole broadside, just a little bit short. The ship that I'm running with kind of short-range cannons, because I find that's the distance where most fights are. But you could totally have like a sniper ship, you could totally have a ramming ship, or a boarding ship. I just destroy his armor in one go, which is crazy, considering his ship archetype. There are 4 players left, including myself, so me against 3 others, and he just took somebody down, and now there's this orc ship coming along trying to secure the kill. Not sure where I went because I went into the fog, and boom! One volley to destroy that very decked out player. So the lethality grows exponentially as the match goes on. It's me and one other guy. What's going to happen here? There's not a lot of space to work with. Looks like he's marooned and half dead already. This should be pretty easy, but as you'll see, I managed to completely balls up that volley. Thankfully, I'm at a place where I'm just very, very powerful, and it's going to be almost impossible for him to win in this scenario. So closing thoughts, as I secure that last kill, I like Maelstrom a lot. I'm very excited to see where this game goes. You can buy this on Steam right now. It's an early access. I think it's doing a lot of cool things in terms of RPG mechanics, progression, ship archetypes. There's a team mode, a ton of fun. So anyway, check it out. And for all things Battle Royale, keep it right here on IGN.